You won't believe how fast a fairy tale turned into a 5-alarm fire. 1 minute, Pamela Anderson is the world's most photographed woman. The next, she's gripping a newborn, while the man she loves, Tommy Lee, is melting down in front of her. A whirlwind wedding on a beach, names tattooed instead of rings, and then, boom, privacy shattered, career hijacked, and a love story spiraling into courtrooms and headlines. Was it passion or a trap with great lighting? Stay with me, because once the mask comes off, the truth hits hard. It started like jet fuel. Pamela Anderson meets Tommy Lee, the ferociously charismatic drummer from Mötley Crüe, and the chemistry is instant. 6 weeks later, they're married in Cancun. She's in a white bikini. He's in swim trunks. No diamond, no guest list. Just two people so sure of each other they ink their names on skin. From the outside, it's rock and roll romance. On the inside, it's parties, jealous flare-ups, and arguments that go from 0 to 60. You know that honeymoon phase everyone raves about? This one had an expiration date stamped in neon. Then came the break-in that rewrote the internet era. A private home video stolen, copied, everywhere. Tommy Lee rages at the invasion. Pamela Anderson takes the hardest hit. She wasn't just objectified, she was professionally sidelined. Casting rooms started treating her like a headline, not an actress. Imagine building something brick by brick and watching a stranger kick the scaffolding down. She didn't just lose control of an image, she watched opportunities evaporate for something she never consented to share. Even while the world was gawking, life kept moving. She became a mom to Brandon and Dylan, two bright lights in a dark room. She tried to make their home feel normal: school runs, baby naps, quiet dinners, while paparazzi camped outside and rumors mailed themselves to her front door. Meanwhile, inside the marriage, jealousy sharpened, control tightened, and exhaustion set in. Love can be blinding, and Pamela Anderson admits she kept trying to fix what was breaking her. The turning point was brutal. In 1998, during a domestic incident while she was holding one of their children, Tommy Lee crossed a line that led to his arrest and a jail sentence. That's when Pamela Anderson filed for divorce. It wasn't a tabloid beat, it was survival. The courtroom attention felt different. No red carpet, no applause, just a woman telling the truth. Hands shaking but voice steady. She wasn't a scandal. She was a person in danger who finally called it what it was. After the split, the pain didn't clock out. Co-parenting meant Pamela Anderson still had to see Tommy Lee to talk logistics, birthdays, school, boundaries, each conversation reopening a wound. On top of that, she faced a terrifying health reveal: hepatitis C, likely from sharing tattoo needles with him. Another ripple from a relationship already flooding every room in her life. Panic attacks. Sleepless nights. The kind of quiet dread that steals your breath at 3 a.m. She has said it outright. She loved him deeply, and it cost her pieces of herself she had to fight to get back. What came next wasn't a neat comeback arc, it was messy and human. Short marriages, second chances, and, maybe this time, hopes. She married Kid Rock, fast romance, faster fallout. She married Rick Salomon, then annulled, then remarried, then ended it again. In the pandemic haze, she married Dan Hayhurst, a seemingly cozy restart that lasted about a year. If you've ever tried to outrun a ghost by changing houses, you know how this goes. None of it filled the space she was trying to heal. But here's the part no one saw coming. Pamela Anderson stopped running and started writing. She told her own story. No filters, no middlemen. Her memoir laid out the childhood, the fame, the marriage, the collapse, and the climb. Then came a candid documentary that handed the microphone back to the person who lived it. You could feel the shift. She wasn't a headline anymore, she was a voice. And when she returned to the stage, yes, literally, taking on a big demanding role, People realized she wasn't just iconography. She could perform. She could own a room without the flashbulbs. Film followed. New projects, new collaborators, a fresh work that wasn't paying for the past, but investing in the future. Off camera, she leaned into simpler things. Cooking, gardens, conversations that didn't need a PR wrap. And she put her platform where her heart is: advocacy, compassion, and the belief that fame isn't a hall pass. It's a microphone you should use carefully. You could see the edges soften. You could see the person, not the poster. Through all of this, Brandon and Dylan stayed center stage in her life on her terms, not the tabloids. She protected them, showed up for them, and tried to model something priceless. That you can break and still be whole, that you can lose yourself and still find your way back. When she talks about them, the noise fades. It's the one chapter where the spotlight feels warm, not burning. So, what's Pamela Anderson's legacy at this point? Not a magazine cover or a viral clip. It's courage. It's calling violence what it island. It's admitting that love can be both real and ruinous, and that leaving isn't failure. Sometimes it's the bravest line in the script. It's the pivot from a caricature to a creator, from being looked at to being listened to. And it's a quiet life by the water, with books and family and work that chooses her back. If you've ever loved someone so much, you edited yourself out of the frame, you know why this story matters. If you've ever thought your worst chapter would define you forever, take this in. The chapter ended because she wrote the next one herself. Here's the truth under all the glitter. Pamela Anderson didn't escape her past by pretending it didn't happen. She transformed it by telling it. That's the difference between surviving and healing. And that's why the world looks at her differently now, not as a scandal, but as a survivor who built a second act out of honesty. Now, if this kind of long-form storytelling hits you real people, tough choices, no sugarcoating, do me a favor. Tap like so it reaches someone who needs it. Subscribe if you want more stories told straight. And drop a comment. Which moment surprised you most? The whirlwind wedding, the courtroom courage, or the creative rebirth? Your take might be the lifeline someone else is scrolling for tonight.